social media companies for removing him from their platforms is, quote, as stupid as you'd think. We'll delve into that in a moment, but we should also note that this lawsuit strategy is same old for Trump. The art of the frivolous lawsuit has been his MO for decades. He does it for publicity. He does it to delay legitimate legal challenges. He does it to bury workers on his building projects who just want to get paid for their manual labor in legal bills. And in this case, he's doing it to raise money. 1 hour later, he sent fundraising emails. Back in 2016, USA Today did a tally of lawsuits involving Trump before he became president. And then more recently in the last year, Dana Milbank at the Washington Post compiled a rather complete list. In some of these legal challenges here laid out, Trump was the defendant. In others, he was the plaintiff. And all told, there are 4,095 over 3 decades. And these lawsuits span every category imaginable. There's the Trump brand, trademarks, golf clubs, taxes, defamation, personal injury, real estate, employment, contract disputes, and the most involving his casinos. And over time, he, his campaign, and his cronies either sued or threatened to sue or just plain threatened the following: the New York Times, the Washington Post, the Associated Press, CNN multiple times, and one time demanding an apology after he didn't like one of our polls, the Daily Beast, Univision, NBC, and an affiliate, the Los Angeles Times, USA Today, ABC, the BBC, an architecture critic for the Chicago Tribune, along with the newspaper, who once called one of his proposed buildings a, quote, ugly monstrosity, and The Onion, which, of course, is satirical fiction. The list, of course, isn't limited to media. There's the Culinary Workers Union, Club for Growth, the city of Minneapolis, and he also likes threatening individuals who he perceives as enemies, or frankly, they just aren't nice to him, like Rosie O'Donnell, who he wanted to, quote, take some money out of her fat ass pockets. That's what he said. Bill Maher, after the host demanded to see Trump's birth certificate to prove that he wasn't, quote, the spawn of his mother having sex with an orangutan. A Miss USA contestant who called his pageant rigged, a random Twitter user, a woman critical of Trump University, a critic of his golf courses, the organizer of a Dump Trump campaign, author Michael Wolff, former Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid, a 92-year-old widow in Scotland, his sexual misconduct accusers, Steve Bannon, his former aide, GOP Senator Ted Cruz, GOP former Ohio Governor John Kasich, who Trump said he wanted to sue for, quote, fun. And then there was a person who made anti-Trump T-shirts, also his niece, Mary Trump, and an artist who painted a nude of him. The artist says that she was threatened by someone claiming to be part of Trump's team if the piece was sold. But why? Why does he do this over and over? Well, perhaps he gave us a hint at the press conference for this new lawsuit.
If you say it long enough, hard enough, often enough, people will start to believe it.
Now, that may have worked with the big lie that he won the 2020 election when he actually lost it. But when it comes to lawsuits, Trump has just become the litigant who cried wolf.
I didn't know about the naked painting.
I didn't either. But, you know, we do our research and we uncover all these interesting things, and that might be the most interesting.
Well, I hope you didn't do too much research on that one there. But no.